It's me again, Trish. I've got some more fascinating and exciting information about the world of purple martins. And today we are going to talk about something really, really important. It's like, okay, rubber meets the road today. And you thought that I was this super nice, sweet, kind person, but you're going to see that I take protecting my birds very seriously. And we are videotaping. I'm taping today in my son Nate's room because Nate has the best unobstructed view from his window of my purple martin house. And you're going to see why that's so important here in just a second. But before I get started, I need to tell you that this little video is going to be talking about my friend Betsy here. And my husband / producer says that if I'm putting these videos on the YouTube, that I probably don't want to say the word of what that is because then I could get censored. And I'm like, why? Why would that be censorable? So apparently you can swear all you want, but if you want to say what that is, then you're in trouble. So apparently that's a thing. So we have a code word for this. This is my printer, okay? So this is my high-powered pellet printer, and we're going to talk about why I would need that. So in the last video, I discussed native birds that are predators and how you cannot dispatch those birds. It's against the law. However, there are a couple of birds that are non-native to the United States that are horrible, horrible birds. Horrible. And you can dispatch those. So let me tell you about them. The first one I've mentioned a couple of times before. It is the European starling. These birds are just evil. They're evil. And they aren't supposed to be in the United States, and so you can dispatch them. And that's what I do. I learned how to use this high-powered pellet printer so that I could protect my birds. And so I leave this desk with this printer up all summer. And poor Nate, his bed is right here, and it's not unusual for him to be sleeping at 7, 8, 10, 11, noon, and for me to be running upstairs to open the window so I could protect my birds. And he sleeps through the whole thing. He doesn't even hear me. So the European starling, I told you before that if you have the right sized holes, we talked about the moon-shaped holes, that is the best defense that you have against these birds. They will, if you have round holes, they will go into the cavity, they will destroy the eggs, they will kill the babies, they will kill the parents if they can. And so they're just bad. They're just bad. There's no benefit to them. And I've even seen documentaries. I mean, they cause millions and millions of dollars of damage to farmers because they roost in their barns and they poop everywhere and they're just bad. So I dispatch them. The second bird that is a problem is the English house sparrow. Now, the sparrow is smaller, and so even if you have the moon-shaped hole, they can still get in. And they will kill the babies, they will destroy the eggs, and so they have to be dispatched as well. And what happens is they are so fast when they fixate on one of the holes in your house. And so, it's usually a male and a female. Of course, it's always a male and a female. And they will fixate on one of the holes in your house. And they will try to put a nest in there. And you'll see them going back and forth. And they just fill that cavity full of junk. They're just it's just dirty. They get trash. They've got straw. The purple martin nest, when they make their nest, it's just this pretty nest. It's a little bowl, and it's just so nice and neat and clean, and leaves and sticks, and it's just this sweet little nest. But the sparrow's nest is just shoved full. The whole cavity is just shoved full of junk. And so you realize that they're putting a nest in there, so you pull the house down and you take out the nest, and then you put the house back up, and within 24 hours, they have filled it up again. Once they fixate on a hole, they will not leave it. So you have to dispatch them. So I do that. So one of the things that we do is you have to be a little bit careful because, first of all, let me just say this. We have no neighbors on the back of our property. We have 5 acres. And then the thing that backs up to our property is a water treatment plant. So there's a huge, gigantic, body of water. So if you live in a neighborhood, you cannot do this. And so I'm going to talk about what you can do here in just a second. So you also have to be careful because once you have dispatched the pellets from this printer, the birds figure out where that noise is coming from. And if they see movement, like in the window up here or whatever, they will fly away before you can dispatch them. They're kind of smart in that way. I have vivid memories of my father at our living room window with his printer. And if we wanted to cross the living room, we had to get down on our knees and crawl to go across the room because he didn't want the starlings or the sparrows to see any movement from our house because that would make them fly away and then he couldn't dispatch them. So what we do is we actually have removed, I don't know, you can't really see it very well, but we have removed the screen from this window and replaced the screen with saran wrap. You can't really see it, but we did put saran wrap is right here. And so the birds, the good thing about this is that the birds, it reflects the light. So the birds cannot see me moving around in here. We did put tape on the window because one of our sons, who shall remain nameless, accidentally shut up my window one time in an effort to help me. Anyway, it happens. It's fine. So that's what we do to protect ourselves, protect our birds from starlings and sparrows. And once the colony gets going and towards the middle of summer, we don't see very much, we don't have as much of a problem because the birds can kind of protect themselves. So what if you live in a neighborhood and you cannot use a high-powered pellet printer? Well, there are some traps that you can set out. There are traps that you can put inside the hole that will trap sparrows. And then once they're trapped, you can pull them out and then you can dispatch them yourself. Starlings, you don't have terrible amount of trouble with starlings anymore because they can't get into the holes. So really it's the sparrows. And so I'm going to put a link on the website, to the website, so you can kind of see the information about traps if you want to do that. Once your birds get situated and once you get them in the houses, they kind of, like I said, will protect themselves and they'll chase off those predators. It's usually at the beginning of the season that you have the most trouble as everybody's arriving and just trying to keep those sparrows out of the holes because they will, hurt the babies and destroy the eggs. So that's what we do for the indigenous bird predators. And so yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, but otherwise we'll see you next time.